Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Shai, Shem Kakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Give me a second here. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, "What's the GMS Israelites take on Daniel 12:1?" So I'm going to open with this here. This is put up by David Hookstead. I subscribe to him, as you can see. Entitled, "China Races Secret Plane to Iran. Warfares Explode." So we know, and he has no reason to lie. As you know, they're at war. The U.S., I guess, is secretly dropping bombs on certain areas of Iran. I got to get more into the details. But I heard, I came across this video and listened to some of it. And I said I had to, go back. So there's, based upon this title right here, "China Races Secret Plane to Iran. Warfares Explode." Secret plane to Iran. Now, for years we've been saying that Russia's definitely backing up Iran. Now we know that China is also backing up Iran. China is a third global power. You have the world powers, you have the U.S. and Russia. That's been like that way for years. Now you got China, which is the third power, which is allied with Russia. So this is prophecy, end time prophecies for sure. So anyway, let me do this. Let me go ahead and let this play.
Likely weapons, air defense, developments out of Iran as a...
This is fair use, by the way. Let me bring it to the very beginning.
Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. I'm filming this on February 1st. Hard to believe it's already February, but here we are, and we have more developments out of Iran as a secret plane has rushed in from China carrying unknown supplies, but likely weapons, air defense, things of that nature. They are trying to slip into the country to save the Iranian regime. On top of that, we have a lot of very strange flight patterns. We have more mysterious explosions, fires. We have President...
I haven't kept up too much of it. It just happened so quickly as of yesterday. Actually, yeah, 2 days ago, Friday night, you had some explosions in Iran, and they said it was your boiler heaters or whatever exploding, but there was multiple buildings in a tight area, so it's definitely not something the buildings are just exploding because of a boiler system or whatever. They believe it's either bombs or planes dropping bombs, and they don't know who it is. Well, I'll find out later in the day, get some more details. So we're definitely at the end of this thing, but before the destruction comes, the world has to be chipped.
Donald Trump breaking his silence on the situation as well, ahead of the United States potentially.
And Nero needs another war, because another 5 wars, because they let the world see the rest of the files, and he's definitely implicated, along with others, which includes Jay-Z, Elon Musk.
Launching a massive military campaign. So we have a lot to break down. I'm going to show you all the information we have, give you my assessment of it. Before we do, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe totally free, costs you guys absolutely nothing at all. Huge boost to the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. What do you think happens next? What do you think the Chinese are rushing into Iran? How will this play out? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the notification bell, all notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. My DMs are wide open. Please reach out with whatever you got. Now, let's get into it. As of February 1st, the United States remains on a war footing against Iran. As of me making this video,
and they come against Iran because Iran is relatively smaller militarily than America. But America does know that they're being backed up. They've been backed up for years by Iran. And now, based on this new information of the secret plane sent them by China, China's clearly letting the world know that they're on the side of Iran, which makes them on the side of Russia. So the U.S. is really playing with fire. And you got this guy that likes to play with matches, because they don't believe they're going to ever go down.
Video, we have not dropped any bombs yet. However, there were mysterious explosions just the other day that rocked multiple cities in Iran, had multiple casualties. We still do
see what this devil does with the land with two horns. What he does, what it does, it goes after civilians. The small hats, the same thing. They go after civilians. They don't fight a fair war against the rules of war. You have the Geneva Convention and so forth. You have rules of war. They don't abide by the rules of war, but they look at them and all. If you're a Gaza Palestinian, they don't care if you're an old woman. They don't care if it's a hospital full of patients, pregnant women, infants, old people. Old people are getting ready to die. Doctors that spend years becoming a doctor, all that knowledge, they don't give a fuck. So that's last night we read that in Isaiah 13, that the Medes are not going to give a damn about them. They're not going to regard their silver and their gold. They're not going to have pity on women, children, pregnant women, babies, because when Russia shoots their missiles on America, they full and well know that millions upon millions of babies are going to die, millions upon millions of pregnant women are going to die, men, women, old people, cats, dogs, other nations, Edomites, Esau. So we're at that time. The only thing holding this thing back, as we know, as we teach in the GMS, not like these other camps, is that the mark, because they're probably saying, oh, we might be out of here next week. The mark of the beast has to be made mandatory throughout the whole planet Earth. They're going to reach as many people as they can with that chip if they want to stay on the grid. And that's a worldwide thing. Now, the Apostle Ramla did a video on it yesterday. He went into countries that are going digital. And I went and, I think I went to, I asked the question a different way. Or maybe, I forget how I asked where I went to. Because sometimes I'll go to Google and I'll go to AI, or sometimes I'll just go to all, or sometimes I'll go to news, or sometimes I'll go to the chat. So the information that I threw in, the way I typed, whatever I typed up, it said there's 180 countries. You have, I believe, 198 countries on the planet. The UN General Assembly, the last 2 weeks of September, you have what is it? 196 nations. There's two that are not a part of UN. Members of the UN, that's the Palestinians and Vatican City, which Vatican City is considered a nation or a nation state. So anyway, when I looked it up, it was 180. That's approximately 90% of the nation. So you're talking about almost 90%, about 90%. So you got another 10%. So when that happens, and they're gonna do something to make it happen, where a lot of people are the majority of the people are gonna hurry up and take it. Then you're gonna have these hard-heads like us that's not gonna take it, refuse to take it, and then we're gonna be dealt with and tested.
Do not know what is going on. The Iranian government is claiming that somehow in 8 different cities, all at the same time, they had massive gas leaks.
Right, it was gas leaks, which is bullshit.
Believe that? I certainly don't believe that. Seems like one hell of a coincidence. To me, my assessment of the situation is that there is clearly black operation ground, intel assets on the ground. When you look at the damage, it looks like bombs were planted inside the buildings that then blew out. My assessment, we will see. One car was thrown 30 meters. Again, this gas explosion story doesn't make much sense to me. So we are in a very, very, very crazy situation, a crazy time as the Iranians try to cling to power. And I'm going to put this up on the screen for you.
Vistaprint prints everything to get your brand in front of your fans, like t-shirts, water bottles, and totes. So
for you. What you see here on your screen is a secret Iranian.
That's the Levant right there, in this region. That's the Levant. You got the wilderness. The Israelites stayed in for 40 years. You got Egypt. You got Goshen up here. You got the Nile over here. You got the Red Sea. Up around here, you got the Euphrates and the Tigris. And in Joel 2, when it says the Northern Army, they're going to be stationed right here. Scholars say they're going to be stationed further up by the Dead Sea. No, they're going to be stationed right here. This is the hot spot. So when all hell breaks loose, it's going to take place in 2 places. Right here, the Levant, and over there in the U.S.
Boeing 747 transport plane that flew from Iran into China, picked up some unknown cargo. You can see part of the flight pattern here on your screen. This is a government plane that flew into China, picked up a ton of different things. That would be, you know, a Boeing 747. That's a huge aircraft. That is a massive aircraft. So it flew into China, picked up whatever its secret cargo was, immediately turned around and flew right back to Iran. If I had to guess, if I had to speculate, what we're looking at right here on the screen, the Chinese are likely sending air defense systems. That is speculation on my part. I cannot confirm that. Obviously, the Iranian government's not going to talk about that publicly. The Chinese certainly aren't going to talk about it publicly. But you would need a large plane, and you'd want to be very discreet and quiet. And that is what they did. This plane took off, rushed to China, loaded up with its unknown cargo.
So if there's a full-scale war between the U.S. and Iran, first of all, Iran is going to bomb the hell out of you-know-what, the area in the Levant. I'll just say it that way. And the United States must know that they're going head-to-head with China, which is a world power. And ally, and I sound like a broken record, but Russia. So all hell is going to break loose. Like I said, America's doing what they're doing because they think they're never going to go down, ever. They truly believe that God is with them because they believe God is a white man, the angels are white, the Messiah is white. So how can we lose? The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rocks.
Immediately turned around and rushed back to Iran. If you think the United States is going to start bombing at any day now, and I still think next weekend is likely when this will start, I don't think it will happen this weekend. It's Sunday right now. I think next weekend's go time. They are trying to get as many air defenses up and running as they possibly can. So we now have confirmation that a secret flight took off from Iran, flew to China, loaded up with unknown cargo, immediately turned around and flew back into Iran. That is what you are looking at on your screen right now. Now I'm going to put this on the screen. What you see here was a very strange, this was Saturday night, so January 31st. What you are seeing here is a plane that took off from Mahan Air. That is a airline closely associated with the IRGC, the most militant wing of the Iranian military and government. Took off from seemingly an unknown location, flew north past Tehran on Saturday night, and then started flying in a racetrack pattern in very, very, very bizarre movements. So yet again, we have all these bizarre plane movements. Are the leaders fleeing? Are they trying to get their military leaders to bunkers? Are the politicians trying to get to bunkers? Are they moving their families? We do not know, but these strange flights, these strange flight patterns in Iran, especially with government planes or airlines associated with the government, continue as of me filming this on February 1st. So I'm going to put this on the screen now. So remember how I said we talked about the explosions, right? Just the other day over the weekend, massive explosions ripped across Iran. Again, government says it's gas leak. We have no proof to believe it is a gas leak. How do you have gas leaks in 8 cities at the same time, all in buildings with high-ranking officials in them? Pretty odd, isn't it? Well, turns out Bandar Abbas, which was hit by explosions yesterday, now has buildings going up in flames.
Wanted. A flexible worker with a willingness to pitch in. Someone who blends in seamlessly and wears many hats. Skip the nonsense.
Give me a second, y'all. Try to...
So the weird explosions, the fires, they just don't stop. Now, as for the United States, 4 refueling tankers as of Saturday night, January 31st, Saturday night, 4 refueling tankers got up, were scrambled up, short notice from Qatar, turned westbound over Saudi Arabia and took off. What does it mean? Well, it could mean that they are trying to evacuate the base so that if the Iranians hit it, we don't have a bunch of planes on the ground, right? They could be running evacuation drills. They could just be leaving. Sorry, excuse me. We don't know, but it is another piece to the puzzle that very, very, very strange things are going on with our refueling tankers. 4 refueling tankers is more than enough refueling tankers to damn near fight a war. So we got our assets in position, and now they are either leaving to get out of the way of potentially incoming ballistic missiles. They're running drills. We do not know. Now, I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. This is from the dictator of Iran. He tweeted on Sunday, February 1st, the Americans should know if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war. So he is threatening all-out war against America, all-out war in the...
First, they're going to hit the Levant, a particular place in the Levant, and then it starts with the letter I.
Middle East. That is what the dictator, the Ayatollah, the scumbag, he wants an all-out war. He wants to fight us on every...
They're not coming to you, you're coming to them. So how is he a scumbag? But that's the spirit of these devils. Like I said, they truly believe that God is a guy, Uncle Sam. You know, Uncle Sam with the hat, and he's sitting up there with he's got a Yankee fitted on or whatever. He's eating Hebrew National Frank, and he gonna come, and all the angels are fucking white. You people are delusional.
Every front, he wants the Navy to go in, and I'm here to tell him, if he thinks he can win a war against the United States, he is delusional. He is dreaming. He is not living in reality. They have no chance, none whatsoever, if this thing goes all the way. If we take this to its ultimate severe conclusion, the Iranian military is going to be destroyed, the IRGC will be destroyed, and the Ayatollah will be going down. On that note, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the U.S. is ready as of today, February 1st, to carry out limited strikes, but they are not yet ready for an all-out massive military campaign. U.S. officials say limited strikes could be ordered immediately, but a major operation would require significantly stronger air defenses to protect the U.S. interest and Israel. Washington is deploying additional Patriot and THAAD systems across the Middle East as Iran is expected to respond with heavy ballistic missile fires. So they are getting ready for ballistic missile fire incoming from Iran. Now, President Trump addressed this on Saturday night. We're not going to, didn't want to show his whole cards, but let me make sure this is up. Let's listen to his comments.
Sir, could you give us an update on where your thinking is right now with Iran, if you have made a final decision on what you want to do?
I certainly can't tell you that, but we do have very big, powerful ships heading in that direction, as you know. I can't tell you.
Okay.
But I hope they negotiate something that's acceptable.
Saudi Arabia's defense minister reportedly said that if the U.S. backs off a strike, that will only embolden Tehran. What's your reaction to that, sir?
Some people think that. Some people don't. You could make a negotiated deal that would be satisfactory with no nuclear weapons, and they should do that. But I don't know that they will, but they are talking to us. Seriously talking.
But that's narrow talking,
So President Trump right there, not really showing his cards, not really saying what he plans to do. That's classic Trump. Before we bombed him the first time, didn't say much publicly, said we're negotiating. Then we just beat the hell out of him. All right, so I'm going to pull this off the screen. So as
the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. They think they're more stout than their fellows. They look down on every other nation around them, including their allies, which are the members of NATO and the EU. Everybody's against this man, but their pride is going to get you fucked up.
As of me filming this on February 1st, we have secret planes that are rushing in from Iran to China carrying unknown supplies. We have planes that are flying in bizarre patterns. Doing what? We don't know. Are they evacuating people? Are they going to the bunkers? We have no idea what is going on. We have refueling tankers in the air. This situation is primed and ready to get very, very, very spicy, very, very hot. As of me filming this on February 1st, again, no attack has happened. I think next weekend is...
U.S. government, there's a thing called continuity of government. And they have a doomsday plane. I'm not going to give you the information. I'll probably give it to you later. I believe it can stay up there for weeks, for a couple of weeks, because it can be refueled in the air. And that's old technology. And I believe that it can, fill up, that the plane can stay in the air for 12 hours. But if it has a refueling system by another fueling plane, it can stay up for over a week.
Still the most likely out.
And that doomsday plane is for what's called a continuity of government. Somebody can put that in the chat. Continuity of government. They showed you that in the movie Deep Impact. What's his name? Morgan Freeman. He played the so-called the president. And what they did was they had a lottery to go into the asphalt mine somewhere in the Midwest. And you also had I don't know if they showed it in the movie whether he was going to be in the asphalt mine to be protected, and you had to win a lottery to get in there, or if you were a professor or you're an important person, a member of the government, you were saved. But they also have what's called a doomsday plane that you get the supreme members of the Supreme Court, you get your presidential, you get your executive branch, which is president and his cabinet. You get you have to have a Congress, Senate, and the House of Representatives. So that's continuity of government. They're saying that this place is going to be destroyed. We got to sacrifice millions upon millions. We're talking about 300 plus million people going to have to be destroyed, and we're going to have to set up a new place to start government all over again. So the government don't give a fuck about y'all. Watch the movie Deep Impact.
Come. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. How will this play out? When will an attack happen? What will happen? Let me know in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys nothing at all. Huge, huge, huge boost to the channel. Hit the notification bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead, my DM.
Okay, so you heard what he had to say. And we as prophets, we know what's going on. Now, where am I going to go from here? I wanted to go to... and by the way, if they didn't go up there and tell you that we in the time of Jacob's trouble. And things are going to get worse. You know, we gotta go through experience second Ezra's 15 and second Ezra's 16. Now I was watching earlier, it's about a 25-minute video that the elder chief out of GMS Chicago, he did a video. He does a lot of prophetic videos. He takes current events and he filters them through the scriptures. So you should, if you haven't subscribed to him, you should subscribe, get his notifications. And he was pretty much talking the same thing I'm talking now. I'm the same. We're on the same level as far as a prophecy goes. We're saying the same things. So watching his video inspired me to make this video. So what I thought about was I kept thinking about the time of Jacob's trouble, which he was describing, And he said, and I'm sorry, let's go ahead and read this. What's the GMS Israelites take on Daniel 12 verse 1? In GMS Great Millstone Israelite teaching, Daniel 12:1 is read very differently from mainstream Christian or Jewish interpretations. Now, in the video that I watched, that Elder Malcolm had put up, he showed a clip of a small hat talking about that America is Edom, Rome is Edom. because they believe that they're Israelites and they believe that other Europeans are Edomites. Because they know that Edomites look like European, look like them, but they're different people. What they don't understand is that they're the Edomites, and they fully understand these Jewish historians and these Orthodox Jews, the Lubavitcher or the Hasidim, which I've talked to them many a times. Very, very talkative people. If you talk to them, I don't think they keep to themselves, but if you talk to them, you start a conversation, they'll tell you some things. But they all know about, when you talk about Jacob and Esau, if you say Jacob and Esau, they know exactly what you're talking about. And they'll tell you, yeah, we're Jacob. But they'll say other so-called Europeans are Edom. So anyway, so it says, GMS breakdown. It says Michael equals Yahushai, Jesus. Nope, never taught that. Michael is under Yahushai. Because it's Yahushua that calls on Michael in Daniel chapter 10 to persuade the mind of, I believe that was Cyrus, if I'm not mistaken. GMS teaches that Michael the archangel is another title for Yahushua. Nope, we don't teach that. Standing up means Yahushua returning to take rulership, not just offering spiritual protection. This aligns with their belief that the Messiah is a warrior king. Of course he said he's coming back and he's not going to meet you as a man. Revelation 19, Isaiah 47, he shall not meet you as a man. Revelation 19, he's coming on a horse. Daniel 7. It's all over the scriptures when it speaks about the Messiah coming. Not a passive savior. Right, he's coming back in a lion-like spirit. He first came as the spirit of a lamb. Why? Because he was going to be sacrificed for the Israelites. He was the ultimate sacrifice. The children of thy people, Israelites only. Now, if you were a scholar and you were true, when you were true to the game, so to speak, you would say, yep, this is talking about Israelites. The scholars know that the other nations are not going to make it. They know that. That's a given. It says, let me see, a warrior king, not as a passive savior. The children of thy people, Israelites only. Thy people is taken ethnically, not spiritually, because the Christians say, oh, this is talking about spiritual Israelites. Romans chapter 9 is referring to spiritual Israelites. So you can be of any nation and be a spiritual Israelite. It's not talking about the national, that's bullshit. Like Vocab said. He actually said this in the video. Revelation chapter 7, the 144,000, he said those are not Israelites. Those are people of other nations that are spiritual Israelites. And he uses this term, replacement theology or supersessionism. So anytime you read about deliverance for the Israelites in the New Testament, it's really talking about people of other nations that embrace Christianity, which is bullshit. Deliverance is exclusively for Israelites. Exactly. If you were a scholar and you were true to your word and you told the truth, you would have to say it, yes. And then you would also have to say that the descendants of the Israelites are so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and scattered Israelites. Non-Israelites, often called Edomites, heathens, which are so-called white people, are not included in this salvation. Right. But that's okay, because Moab ain't going to come up, be beamed up in the ship. Ammon, Hamites, Cushites, Egyptians, Mizraimites, Ishmaelites, Midianites, Persians, Iranians, none of them are going to be beamed. The only ones that's going to be beamed up, as we said time and time again, are the Israelites, but not just any old Israelite. You have to be an Israelite, a part of that elect, called and chosen, not just called. Non-Israelites, often called Edomites, heathens, are not included in this salvation. Time of trouble, such as never was. Jacob equals Jacob's trouble. They link this directly to Jeremiah 30 verse 7. Why? Because it actually says Jacob's trouble. It doesn't say Jacob's trouble in Daniel chapter 12. Back to the basics. This is understood as global chaos. Is not that happening around the world right now? American news media, they don't show you what's going on in these other countries. There's protests all over the world, man. There's coups taking place in different parts of the world, but they forget. CNN and Fox News, they forget to tell you that. If there's a major earthquake someplace, they'll say, we're not going to put it in the news. If there was a series of 100 earthquakes throughout the earth, outside of America, they'll leave it out the news. They said, no, we ain't going to tell you. Because they're afraid, too. It says race wars, more like class wars. Because now the focus on these average citizens are coming against the government, the ICE agents, the not the National Guard so much, Border Patrol, National Guard, economic collapse. The gold and silver jumped up in the last couple of weeks by the hundreds. I've never seen this before, and I've been keeping up with gold and silver since the early 90s. And it dropped. It dropped almost $1,000. Now people are panicking. Well, you don't panic. What you do is wait till it goes down and buy more gold and silver if you can afford it. It says martial law. We're already in martial law. Martial law is here. They're just not calling it martial law. The fact that you got ICE, which that organization was made up maybe like 20 some odd years ago. That's a new organization. They don't have to wear badges. They can wear masks. All they have to do is on their back have ICE written on the back with the army fatigues. They're hiring these guys and they're giving them about not even 2 months of training, and they just set them out there with guns to do what they got to do. So that's what's called invading army. That's a foreign army. No, but they're Americans, but they're coming in the name of a foreign army. Nuclear destruction ultimately. They forgot to put the chip in. GMS often emphasizes that America, Babylon the Great, is central to this judgment. Thy people shall be delivered physically, a national deliverance, not just spiritual salvation, includes physical rescue from destruction. What destruction? When Babylon is completely pelted with these missiles. Back to the basics. Okay, I read that people, nation, physical nation. The beginning, okay. The destruction of Israel. Now they forgot, I'll probably ask that at the bottom of the page. The beginning of the Israelite kingdom on earth, the elect, 144,000, a great multitude of Israelites, survive and rule with Yahushai. Big picture GMS view. Daniel 12:1 is end time prophecy. We're already in it, about Israelite supremacy being restored. That's Psalms 149. Making that's also Daniel 7 verse 18, Daniel 7 verse 25. Hell, read the whole book of Daniel. The moment Isaiah 14, the first couple of verses, talks about putting them in captivity. Yahushai intervenes violently in human history, leading directly into the fall of modern empires. Top of the list is Babylon the Great and the rise of Israel's kingdom. Okay, this is what I want to do. What part of this prophecy has to do with the mark of the beast. Short answer, none of it is directly, and even GMS usually admits that if you pass them, here's how it shakes out. Daniel 12, a mark, buying or selling. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Daniel 12:1 does not mention a mark, buying or selling, worship of the beast, an image, enforcement system. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So there is no explicit mark of the beast content in this verse. Let me ask this question. The mark of the beast. Will the mark of the beast take place before Daniel 12:1? According to GMS teaching, yes, the mark of the beast comes before and overlaps with Daniel 12:1, not after it. Correct. Here's the clean GMS timeline. Daniel 12:1 is the intervention point. At that time, shall Michael stand up? GMS reads this as Yahushua physically intervening. The moment divine judgment begins, the end of Jacob's trouble. Not the start. So Daniel 12:1 is not even, and is not when oppression ramps up. It's when it gets cut short. I'm almost finished here. The mark of the beast happens before the intervention. Right before, in other words, when all hell breaks loose, and when verse 1 in Daniel 12 is talking about how Michael's going to come back. It's going to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble, then Michael's going to come back, which means Yahushua and the angels are going to come back. So that's what that's talking about. Daniel saw the end of Jacob's trouble. It says in GMS doctrine, the mark belongs to Esau's final system, the beast government, the peak of Jacob's trouble. That means economic coercion, meaning you got to use your right hand to make payments. Forced compliance. To be on the grid, you have to have the chip. You have to have the chip. Persecution, surveillance. They have control over you. Control. All back to the basics. All of that is already happening before Michael stands up. Because when Michael stands up, that's when the deliverance comes. How they usually sequence it, GMS timeline looks like this. Beast system rises, Revelation 13. Mark is push, economic and social pressure. Jacob's trouble intensify. Oh, beautiful, intensify, because we're in Jacob's trouble right now. Somebody told Nate, don't worry about GMS spies in your school, because there ain't none. And I want y'all to give me a picture of that guy that you claim that he's a IUIC, he goes to the IUIC classes and he's a member of GMS. I want you to give me a picture of the guy, because you guys are good at surveillance. You want to check everybody's, information. Jacob's trouble intensifies. Elect are sealed. Thank you. Protected. Daniel 12:1. Yahushua intervenes. Beast system is destroyed. Deliverance of Yasha Allah. So the mark is part of the crisis, not the resolution. Right. Because you got to pass that test. Why this matters in GMS logic? If the mark came after Daniel 12 will not be in the kingdom. Yahweh Shai would be ruling. The beast would already be judged. Enforcement systems would exist that would contradict their whole eschatology, meaning end time events, so that the study of the end times. So they're firm on this point. Right, we're firm on the mark of the beast. Not like other camps. Them other camps are gonna have a big surprise when their people got to line up to take that. You're gonna be asking a lot of questions. A mark of the beast happens before Daniel 12:1. Daniel 12:1. Christ steps in to end the beast's reign. There may be brief overlaps, but Daniel 12:1 marks the turning point, not the build-up. If you want, I can chart this against Matthew 24, explain how the elect survive without taking the mark. Right, some of us are going to be put to death. Or compare this with pre-trib, right before the tribulation, which is the time of Jacob's trouble. That's tribulation, you can call it that. Post-tribulation Christian timelines. Anyway, let me see. Give me a second here. Okay, anyway, with that, I said I was going to make this relatively short. Anyway, shalom, on to the next. Give me your thoughts.